Welcome back in, partner with Stare Down Sports, Stare Down Greatness, and man, these games weren't too good, huh? Not the greatest NFL slate this weekend. College football, kind of blowout city, so I mean it was a weekend of football, but nothing to say the least. Man, I won't lie, kind of disappointed about those college football playoff games. But we'll get into it a little bit later. But before we get into that, we'll probably talk about some NFL Week 16 that happened because we got some teams that are in the playoffs. Playoff scenarios are clinched. Jalen Hurts hurt. Lamar Jackson, MVP race heating up. We got a lot to talk about. No, I won't lie. We're gonna start this off. Your boy might be out of the Pickem race officially, but we'll talk about that tomorrow when we get into all that stuff. But yeah, for today, let's talk some NFL Week 16. Won't lie to you. I was at a family party, so there's some of these games I won't lie I missed like chunks and pieces of. So the breakdowns today will be the recap today will be somewhat quicker because like I said, I didn't get a full chance to watch some of these games because family party on Sunday, so I was distracted from like 2 to 5. So yeah, big chunk of these games. Thursday night though, Chargers they went 34-27. Which was honestly a really impressive win. The Chargers looked really, really good. I'm just trying to... I can't remember this game too much, honestly, because it was on Thursday. I can't remember too many of the plays. I do remember it being a good showing by Justin Herbert, though. He looked awesome. And I do remember, shout out Dicker the kicker, Cameron Dicker, with an awesome... I forget what the name of it is, but the kick interference field goal from the 50-yard line, whatever, with the kickoff formation. That was really cool to see. But yeah, Chargers get a massive, massive win here, which helps their playoff hopes massively. And this is the first time since 2010 they've won the season series. They swept both games. So that's awesome for them. As for the Broncos, it's just tough to lose that game. But, it was just not a bad game overall. It was a really, really fun, exciting game because some of these other games kind of disappointed, won't lie. We'll move on, though. Texans 19, Chiefs 27. The Chiefs looked pretty good on offense. Mahomes' the ankle looked pretty fresh. He was able to get a lot of scrambles around. He just looked good. Kareem Hunt scores a touchdown as well. Sad part about this game is Tank Dell. He scores a touchdown in the third quarter, but dislocated kneecap, torn ACL, some other stuff. I think we're still waiting to hear what the full diagnosis is. Feel bad for the young man. It just sucks he came back from injuries and all that. And just to have basically the same spot in the end zone happen again this year. So hopefully he'll be okay in the future, but... I don't know what his football future looks like, but he has another long road to recovery, which is really, really sucky. You see how distraught C.J. Stroud was. That kind of just killed the mojo of the game for them because, after that, all they had was a field goal. The Chiefs scored 10 points. That basically was the finisher. The Chiefs win and cover, believe it or not. Ravens-Steelers, this one was just a good old-fashioned blowout, which, by the way, Ravens dropped Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson ends up on the Texans, and the Texans will actually end up needing him, so I'm curious to see how that works out with them after all this weirdness that's just surrounded him. But Lamar Jackson, he looked really, really good in this game. He had 207 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 162 rushing yards on the ground. Absolutely just a machine. Steelers just looked rough without George Pickens again. The Steelers have just not looked right since they lost George Pickens on offense. Their offense has been a bit shaky. I think they should be fine to make the playoffs, so we'll talk playoff clinching scenarios after I finish the recap and news. I got that. Shout out Ian Rappaport. Got that out so I can talk about that. But, yeah, I don't know. Without George Pickens, the Steelers' offense has been a bit shaky. But, hey, Lamar Jackson's looked great. He's going to be in a lot of primetime games while Josh Allen is not. So it's going to be interesting to see how this MVP race goes now. Colts, 38-30 win. They were up 38-15. Before allowing 15 points in the fourth quarter after Shane Steichen rest some guys. But this is about when I start to blend out of being able to watch full games and only being able to watch the full game and being able to kind of recap and everything. Watch the full game, talk with family, and be able to recap. Doing all that. It was kind of tough, so I kind of missed out on it a bit. But for the most part, Jonathan Taylor, way to respond, boy. 218 on the ground, 3 touchdowns. Sheesh. Anthony Richardson, 7 for 11, 131 yards. He had a lot of rushing yards as well, 9 for 70 and a rushing touchdown as well. Games like this, have promise for the future. Where it's like, okay, this is what we love to see. It sucks the defense gave up 30, gave up 15 in the fourth quarter as well. But seeing stuff like this, it's like, okay, this is awesome. We can actually see that the Colts are improving a little bit. And as for the Titans, man, they just looked horrible. They scored the first touchdown, then the Colts just beat it down into them. And yeah, it was a very rough day to be a Tennessee Titan. I mean, they got some stuff late, but minus that, I mean, they didn't look too good. Mason Rudolph has 3 interceptions. Does have 2 touchdowns though, so it's like, I guess him and Will Levis just turned the ball over equally, huh? Bills, Patriots. Bills won 24-21. Patriots actually up 14-0 to start the game. Really slow start for the Bills. They end up coming back to win. Patriots do what the Patriots do this year, which is dumb plays. They basically have in their own. They were basically, I think, in their 10-yard line, side their own 5-yard line at that. You see Drake May go. He throws a backwards pass basically to Ramondre Stevenson. Can't catch it. Defense falls in the ball in the end zone. That's basically where the game goes away. James Cook looked really good as well. He had 2 touchdowns, one of them being a 46-yarder. Patriots put up a lot of fight, though, I will admit. Seeing that was the, what's the best way to put it? That was the cool part, I guess, to see about that. The Patriots actually put up a lot of fight, and it's like, okay, hey, they look pretty good. But overall, the Bills still end up finding a way to win. And now the Bills travel to play the Jets before they play the Patriots again, so they should be pretty good for the playoffs, huh? I don't even know if they're going to be playing their guys by the second Patriots game. It probably just depends if the Chiefs get the 1 seed, which I believe if they win Christmas, they should. Like I said, we'll talk clinching scenarios in a minute. Panthers, 36. Cardinals, 30. Panthers end up winning. Basically kill the Cardinals season, man. The Cardinals losing this game was a heartbreaker. I mean, this was a game they really could not afford to lose. How they lost it, I truly don't. I don't know how they lost it. Their defense just couldn't get a stop when they needed to. Offense felt like they couldn't when they needed to score. When they needed to score, they weren't able to get like a touchdown. They got a field goal instead, stuff like that. I don't know, man. They were able to go to overtime though after getting a field goal to go to overtime. Then Chuba Hubbard rushes for a 21-yard touchdown. I wasn't able to see the overtime sadly, but yeah, all I know is this was a horrible loss for the Cardinals, and yeah, they really couldn't afford that loss, man. That was a very bad loss for them. And shout out to the Panthers who get a win, but 4-11. We bet they're under at 5.5. So with the game, they have Buccaneers-Falcons next. Just need them to lose one of these so we can get that under to cash, baby. And that's another JC Futures that cashes for us. Pretty good season with the futures, man. But, man, sucked for Pickem this week, I tell you what. Jaguars, Raiders. Raiders blow their chance at the number 1 pick. They end up winning this game. They go from the number 1 to the number 6. Jaguars all of a sudden in the conversation for potentially the number 1 pick, but Giants control their destiny. We'll get there in a second. That's all I really want to talk about in this game. I mean, Jaguars, there's no reason we need to bring up Jaguars Raiders at this point in the season with how bad that was. The Sunday night game, Cowboys win 26-24. The thing I do want to bring up in this game, Cowboys have won 4 of their last 5, so Mike McCarthy probably coming back next year. They're running this back for sure. They're probably going to add a piece or 2 if I had to guess in the offseason. What would that be? I don't know, man. Probably going to be some older veteran at something like that. But they need defensive pieces. But with how much this team is fighting, I'm assuming they're going to run it back. And this was just a tough loss for the Bucs, man. And we just missed out on the Nasty Boy. Shout out to Stare Down Sports article there where we wrote about the Nasty Boy. Just missed it, man. We had Mike Evans to score. He was the last leg, and he did not. Sam Laporta hit for us. Jamar Chase hit for us. James Conner hit for us. Just needed Mike Evans, man. But like I said, I was impressed the Cowboys were able to win this. Shout out to them. Baker Mayfield had a decent day, but yeah, it's just a tough loss for the Bucs, man. Can't believe they lost that, man. Shout out to the Browns. Myles Garrett gets as the youngest player in NFL history to record 100 career sacks. Shout out to him. That is awesome. When it comes to the Bengals get a much-needed win over the Browns. They win 24-6. Defense pretty stout in this game, which was awesome. They only gave up 1 touchdown to Jerome Ford later in the game. They had an awesome goal line punch out to start the game, which pretty much set the tone. Joe Burrow, he's just awesome, man. 23 for 30, 252, and 3 touchdowns. And yeah, DTR, 20 for 34, 157 yards, 2 interceptions. So another team where quarterback play just not too good. Falcons with Michael Penix, they look impressive. They win 34-7. Giants just get beat down. This was an ugly beat down. Excuse me. Sorry about that. This was an ugly beat down. I mean, they scored first, and then the Falcons just didn't look back. Bijan Robinson, I think, had 2 rushing touchdowns. He did, with 94 rushing yards on the ground. Michael Penix, 18 for 27, 202. No touchdowns. He did have 1 interception, which really wasn't his fault, honestly. Kyle Pitts basically caught the ball and threw it to him. And we'll talk about this maybe. I guess we can talk about it now. Kirk Cousins, it looks like they're going to release him very similar to Russell Wilson's situation last year. Thankfully, though, for the Falcons, they don't take as much of a cap hit as the Broncos did. But overall, man, looks like Michael Penix is going to be the guy going forward. And this was the first game in the Michael Penix era. And we're going to see a lot more of him. And it seems like unless an injury happens, Kirk Cousins is out the building. Lions win 34-17. This game wasn't even close. Cole Kmet scored a touchdown for the Bears. Keenan Allen scored for the Bears. And then you look at the Lions, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff. 3 touchdowns, 336 passing. Jahmyr Gibbs, 23 carries, 109 on the ground. Just beat down by the Lions. They wish to win this game, and they continue their fight for the 1 seed, which we're with them winning and the Vikings winning, which we'll talk about here in a minute. I mean, that looks like that clash is coming week 18, where we're going to have guys are going to have to play, man, in week 18 if they want to fight for that 1 seed, which is awesome for us. Eagles 33, Commanders 36. These games always seem to be these shootouts, man. Saquon Barkley, man, he went off in this game. Shout out to him. 29 carries, 150 yards. I think he's like 200 some away from the record, so there's a really good chance Saquon Barkley's going to get that rushing record. I'm assuming they're going to try to get it for him. And Jalen Hurts went out with a concussion in this game, so that allowed the Commanders basically to be able to fight and stay in this game. And the biggest thing that sucked was 21-7. There was a chance for maybe it wasn't even 21-7. I can't remember the exact score situation. Maybe it was 21-14, but Eagles could have won the game. There's a ball thrown at Devontae Smith where he basically drops it. That opens the door to the Commanders, and that's basically what helped them win this game, which was awesome. Much needed win for them to just keep fighting. And, I mean, it just... For now, for the Eagles, the biggest question is Jalen Hurts, man. What's going to happen with him? Is he going to be okay? Is he going to play next week? Those are the biggest questions coming out of that game. But this was honestly truly a fun game. Like I said, just stunk I wasn't able to watch all of it because of family. Obviously, love spending time with family, but as a football junkie, damn it. Rams, they win 19-9. The Jets have no punt to still lose. Devontae Adams, the Aaron Rodgers, that connection's still great. We're going to probably look to cash in on that going forward as well. Kyrie Williams scored a touchdown as well. Shout out. Gave that out as well. Yeah, that's basically all I want to bring up about this game. The Rams win. I think they control their own destiny for their division. We'll talk about that a little bit more, like I said, in the scenario situation, because I can't fully remember, but I believe they do control their own destiny at this point. Minnesota Vikings, they win 27-24 over the Seattle Seahawks. This was honestly a really close game. It was back and forth for a long while, and then Seahawks just came down to them not being able to get it done when they needed to get it done, which it's kind of been the story of their season so far, is anytime they've kind of really needed it, they just haven't been able to get it done. And now with them losing this game, with them losing and the Cardinals losing, I believe the Rams have the door open for them where they control their own destiny, like I said, to win the division, and it stinks that we gave out the Seahawks to win. But also, I think I gave out the Rams a few weeks ago as well, so if you end up taking both, I mean, hey, at least we got a hedge. But yeah, this was... I wasn't shocked they lost, but that was a tough one. One I was shocked about losing, Dolphins 29, 49ers 17. Dolphins looked really, really, really good, and all of a sudden now, hey, I think they're lurking in the playoffs as well. We'll talk about that in the scenarios. But I was kind of shocked the 49ers lost this game. Seeing Moody miss a kick and Shanahan's reaction, I am curious to see if Moody comes back next year. Not fully confident that he will. He's just had a tough kicking year this year, and NFL will these teams do rotate through kickers if they need to. And man, it's going to be interesting to see what the Brock Purdy contract's going to be this year, especially with all the injuries and all that. Like, there's a lot of drama surrounding this 49ers season, looking into the offseason now, because they're eliminated from the playoffs, man, which is crazy to think about. And then Monday night, I mean, we 34-0 ass beating. Packers just beat the shit out of the Saints. I mean, this was just Good old-fashioned ass beating. Shout out to all three running backs scoring. Jordan Love didn't need to do too much. Man, shout out my boy Ron, man. I feel bad for your Saints, man. Feel bad for you and feel bad for your Saints. Darren Rizzi had a huge blunder. There was a chance where Saints might have been able to get points. They have a guy fumble out of bounds. There was no communication. In his words, there's no communication between him and the refs. So the time went from like 39 seconds to 15, and then Rattler gets sacked, and that basically screwed any chance of them getting any points. But hey, NFL had a chance where there's never been an NFL season without a shutout. It took till week 16. Well, we got the first shutout of the season. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints being the only team shut out in 2024 season so far. But yeah, that kind of does the recap for the scores. Like I said, usually I would spend longer on it, but I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I missed a lot of portions of these games, so I just kind of gave my broad thoughts on it because, yeah, I wasn't able to fully watch a lot of these games, but I watched enough of them and was able to recap enough of it to know I was able to get enough of the vibes to kind of know what was going on. But like I said, we're going to look real quickly to see if there's any news that we missed. We talked about Deontay Johnson going to the Texans. It's kind of crazy. Lions, Johnson enticed by Bears coaching job. Ben Johnson to the Bears I think would be good for Caleb Williams. That would be really, really helpful. George Pickens returns to practice, hopeful to play for the Chiefs. We'll see. I wouldn't be shocked if they held him out last week if they thought he'd be able to go this week, just to not risk it since it's a short turnaround. But the Steelers could really, really use that win. I will say that. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Tank Deltor ACL dislocated kneecap. Like I said, they're looking at some more damage. Jerry Jones is proud of the Cowboys. I mean, for fighting for Mike McCarthy. So like that said, that's a good sign that Mike Bravo coming back. I don't think there's too much news. This is probably going to be a pretty short episode today because, like I said, I didn't get to watch most of these games, so I missed a lot of the NFL breakdown. And the college games were blowouts, so there's not too much to talk about. Tomorrow's episode's probably going to be a bit more heftier, though, breaking down some of the other stuff. Then we got a lot of bowl games to break down as well. So you got that to look forward to, at least. Josh Allen apparently has played most of the season with a broken hand. That's come out, which is props to him, man. He's been fighting for that. And, yeah, I think that's really it for the NFL news. I don't think there's really anything else. We'll talk about the CFP real quick. I mean, I'll literally just talk about it broadly because these games were absolutely blowouts. I don't think any of them were really shockers. Made me feel dumb betting on all the underdogs. I won't lie. Because it's like, man, not a single one. I mean, we gave out Notre Dame, so Notre Dame was our only win. But yeah, Coastal, shout out UTSA and the over that hit for us in the bowl game. Shout out to NIU for winning that hit for us. But yeah, Tennessee, blowout. Texas. I mean, Clemson technically covered the live 14.5 if you got it. But if you got anything before that, did not cover. SMU, Kevin Jennings just had a rough game, so they lose 38-10. Jacksonville State did cover for us, shout out. And then, yeah, Indiana loses 27-17 to Notre Dame, and that was basically 27-3. And super ugly. So, I mean, the first round kind of disappointed, but I mean, I feel like it's more of an issue of the seeding than it is the games. I mean, I feel like we have, for example, I know this probably can't happen because of Notre Dame not being in the conference, but if we put, at least the way they had it set up this year, if Notre Dame gets a bye, Ohio State gets a bye based on their performances, and then we have Arizona State and Boise. I mean, imagine Arizona State, Indiana. That'd be pretty fun. Imagine SMU, Boise State. And then you got Tennessee, Penn State, or something like that. Or maybe even, stuff like that. There's so much more they could have done better if they would have seeded it better. But like I said, it was seeded pretty poorly to begin with. So they kind of just set them up for failure in this. But the next round should be exciting. I mean, that at least should give us some potential. The Buccaneers are designated Jordan Whitehead returns from IR. Opening his practice window, which might help them with their playoff push. But like I said, just kind of stunk, but now looking forward to it. We at least have some good, should have some good games upcoming, man. I really, really should, because we got, man, I can't wait to break these down tomorrow. Should be really, really exciting. But we got Georgia, Notre Dame. That should be a fun one. Texas, Arizona State. I think that has the potential to be kind of sneaky good, but I don't know. It's going to come down to if Cam Scouting Book get going or not, which does make me a little bit nervous with how good the Texas defense is. Oregon, Ohio State, that's going to be an awesome one. Really can't wait for that. And then Penn State, Boise State, that has some potential as well. But we at least got 2 bangers coming up with Notre Dame, Georgia, and Ohio State, Oregon, which, like I said, those should be a lot of fun. I'm really, really excited to watch those. Just, like I said, just disappointed that the matchups in the first round and how just not great they were, man. I just wish they were a little bit better, but hey, man, it's okay. Hopefully it will get better, and we'll enjoy the next round. Let's just say that. We'll for sure enjoy the next round, I feel like. But I just wanted to bring that up. I didn't think it needed to be a whole... I'm not even going to lie to you. There's probably not even going to be timestamps in this video today. I mean, it's just going to be... I'll probably label, like, what I'm talking about. But, I mean, like, college football just got brought up for, like, not even a minute or two. Because, like I said, wasn't too exciting. And basically the big thing today is we're going to be talking about NFL. Because college is going to get a lot of heavy lifting tomorrow. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Should I give out plays for? I'm gonna have my podcast out early tomorrow. So if you want any plays for like the NFL games tomorrow, I'll have it out early. I will have an article out tonight. I am planning on doing that. So check out Stare Down Sports if you want to see it on the article. If you want to see the article version, but if not, I'll be giving out plays tomorrow on my pod. But I mean, NFL games this week, it's okay. Like Seahawks Bears, that's okay. Chargers Patriots. Broncos, Bengals should be pretty good. Cardinals, Rams should be okay. Cowboys, Eagles should be decent. Colts, Giants. Raiders, Saints. Giants, Bills. I mean, it's going to be an okay weekend, but there's a lot of college bowl games, so that's where the fun's going to be at. But yeah, like I said, we're going to end it with some clinching scenarios. Like I said, today's not going to be too long of one because I plan on going pretty long tomorrow, so with it being Christmas Eve and everything, too, we're going to have a nice little short episode for you, just kind of hit some bullet points for Week 16 and get on out of here with a clean little, like, 30 to 45-minute episode. But the AFC, so some clinching scenarios. So who's clinched? The Bills have clinched the AFC East. Texans have clinched the AFC South. Chiefs have clinched the AFC West. The Baltimore Ravens have clinched a playoff berth. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have clinched a playoff berth. So, the Kansas City Chiefs of Pittsburgh... is the first clinching scenario, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Kansas City clinches the AFC's number 1 seed. If lone first round bye and a advantage with the Kansas City win and tie, or Buffalo loss or tie. So with Buffalo, who are they playing? Somebody bad. We just said it. Jets. If Buffalo loses to the Jets, that gives Kansas City a bye. If Kansas City wins, they get the bye anyway, which, in my opinion, I think they're going to beat the Steelers. So Chiefs are probably going to get that bye in the first round, which, man, they're going to do it again. I actually did want to do something real quick. I forgot to bring this up. NFL futures. We'll probably talk about that a little bit tomorrow as well. This will be the last, probably the last real look through at the futures. We'll quickly look at the MVP because I put a sprinkle on Lamar at this point because he's down to plus 380. I got him at plus 750. But we're gonna not look at we'll maybe look at divisions. We'll look at Super Bowl, because I'm not gonna lie. I hate to say it, but I had a free bonus bet from a deposit bonus I did, and I bet it on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Because it just feels like, man, they're having all this magical stuff happen. Wouldn't want to be against it. But anyway, like I said, I think they're gonna clinch the number 1 seed. But I'm excited to talk about futures tomorrow a little bit. It's not gonna be super crazy or anything. We're just going to kind of talk about what the markets are looking like. Jaden Daniels is probably going to be Rookie of the Year because he's minus 2,000, stuff like that. With some occasional stuff, maybe if we can find some good juicy odds, we'll do that as well. Denver Broncos and Cincinnati Bengals. Denver clinches a playoff berth with a Denver winner tie. The Chargers clinch a playoff. Chargers would clinch a playoff berth against the Patriots if they win or tie, or if Miami loses or tie, and Indy lost or tie. So pretty much the Chargers are winning in situation. Denver's in a win-and-end situation. Bengals, if the Denver loses, which it's very reasonable for them to lose against the Bengals, that's going to be a very, very interesting one. Because if the Bengals lose, if the Bengals lose, they're out. They're completely out. If Bengals win both these games, and I think if somebody else loses, if the Broncos lose their next 2 games, which there's a really, really good chance they could, they're out of the playoffs, man. And the Bengals, if they win their next 2 and somebody else loses, they're in. So that's going to be really, really exciting for that part. But Yeah, AFC, it's kind of already settled in. We're kind of just looking at the last little bit. Wild card wise, do we even? I think it's Colts, Miami, Bengals are the only ones who are left that even have a chance to make the playoffs with these last 2 weeks left. Which, ooh, I don't know, man. Colts got to keep giving me hope, don't they? But now we'll finish off with the NFC. Like I said, it's not gonna be too long of an episode today. Nice little baby boy for the people today before Christmas Eve. Detroit Lions have clinched a playoff berth. Packers have clinched a playoff berth. Vikings have clinched a playoff berth. Eagles have clinched a playoff berth. Shout out the NFC North, man. Represent. The Detroit Lions play San Francisco. The Detroit Lions clinches the NFC North Division title. NFC's number 1 seed, lone first, if they win and Minnesota loses. So if Detroit beats the 49ers and Minnesota loses to... I actually don't remember who they play, so we'll look that up real quick. But yeah, I feel like Detroit should be able to win. They play Monday night, which all the way I'm very excited about because I have Jahmyr Gibbs in my fantasy team. We're in the championship, so I have one guy playing Monday night. My opponent has nobody. The Vikings, they play... Ooh, the Packers. Ooh. So yeah, Minnesota wins that game. It's a winner-takes-all for the NFC North next week between the... Man, I won't lie. I kind of want the Vikings to win that because if they do, that means the Lions-Vikings next week is winner-take-all for the NFC North and the number 1 seed, I believe. Philadelphia Eagles, they clinch the NFC East with a win or tie, and Washington lost or tie. I think they would have clinched it damn near last week if they would have won, but losing now they have to wait another week. And like I said, with Jalen Hurts not playing, I do have some questions with what's going to be going on because, man, I don't know if Kenny... I'm not going to diss Kenny Pickett, but I don't know if he's not Jalen Hurts. Let's just say that. So I don't know, man. And they, like I said, they play the Cowboys. They're 9.5-point favorites. Saquon might just run crazy on them, which might not make it matter anyway, but we'll just have to see because that's something to keep an eye on for sure. The Atlanta Falcons can clinch the NFC South title with a win and a Tampa Bay loss. The Falcons play the Commanders. That's going to be a tough one. They're 4.5-point dogs. And the Bucks. Where the Bucks at? They play the Carolina Panthers. They're 7.5-point favorites. So, good chance we're going to see some... Good chance that scenario probably plays on out to next week. I don't know if NFC... I just don't know. I mean, the fact that they need a Tampa Bay loss as well. Yeah, I don't think Tampa Bay's going to lose to Carolina. Let's just say that. Especially after losing this last week, I think Tampa Bay is going to really come out and play hard. The Rams can clinch the NFC West title with a win and a Seattle loss or tie with a win. And Rams clinch strength of schedule victory, tiebreaker over Seattle with a tie or a Seattle loss. So basically, I mean, I think basically it sounds like the Rams are going to clinch it regardless. They just need to win. They win. It sounds like they win. They are going to basically clinch it regardless, so they just need to worry about winning this game against the Cardinals. That's going to be a really, really fun one to watch. I think is that Saturday night, man? Saturday night, 8/16. I'm going to be at my boy Aaron's wedding, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch. Shout out my boy Aaron, by the way, getting married this weekend. Very, very excited about that. We're going to miss Chargers, Patriots. Not too worried about that. Kind of going to be a little bit sad about missing Bengals, Broncos. That had a chance to be a banger, but Rams, Cardinals might be able to catch the second half of that after boogieing the night away. But like I said, it's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun game. Really, really going to be a fun game there. And Commanders, Falcons. Washington clinch a playoff berth with a Washington win or tie, Tampa Bay loss or tie. So if Washington's, they're winning their inning against the Falcons, so like I said, even more for the NFC West or NFC South clinching scenario. Washington wins, they in the playoffs. I think they're going to want to win that game and go wing. And actually, you know what? We'll end it off today with some futures because we went pretty short. So we'll quickly just look at the NFL futures, just like look at the markets and see what looks like it's going to happen. For Super Bowl, Lions are plus 390 still. Chiefs are plus 450. Bills plus 470. Eagles plus 650. Ravens plus 750. And then you get into the double digits. Packers are plus 1,300. I hear a lot of people are starting to get on that now. Colts at plus 40,000. Watch out. We're lurking. Division-wise, Ravens are minus 190. Steelers are plus 160. I think Ravens pretty much have that locked up. Bucks are minus 135. Falcons are plus 115. I kind of want to lean Bucks in that situation. Lions minus 300 for their division. I think I would take them there. Rams are now minus 750, so they're pretty much going to lock to win their division. MVP, like I said, this is Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Saquon, I think, at this point. Jared Goff's plus 2,500, and then the list steeply drops off. I just think that it's between Saquon, Lamar, and Josh Allen, with it really, truly being Josh Allen, Lamar, since it's a quarterback award, which means Saquon Barkley's minus 1,500 for Offensive Player of the Year. I would sprinkle Jamar Chase, potentially, because he's plus 800, but I might do that. I might sprinkle Jamar Chase because he's a little bit plus 800, but that's, I think, where that's going to go. Jaden Daniels seems like he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Bo Nix kind of faded a bit, and then Brock Bowers in second. Pat Surtain is plus 380 for Defensive Player of the Year. Pretty much between him and TJ Watt. Nick Benito plus 1,800 kind of made a sneaky case, but I don't know if he's going to end up taking it. I feel like Surtain's going to take a lot of votes from him. Jared Verse minus 550. Quinion Mitchell plus 440 there. Looking at that one. This market's going to hurt for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really don't know who's going to win that one, honestly. This one hurts. Joe Burrow minus 650. Comeback Player of the Year. Sam Darnold plus 700. J.K. Dobbins plus 750. Man, if he didn't get hurt, he might have had a real shot. Sucks that he really got hurt. And then Kevin O'Connell minus 370 for Coach of the Year. Then you got Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn. And you got Andy Reid at plus 1,900. I won't lie. Andy Reid was plus 3,300. Or plus 3,500, excuse me, a few weeks ago. I sprinkled him a plus 3,500. I don't know if he's going to win it, but with how good they're being and with everything that's been going on, like, why not give Andy Reid Coach of the Year, truly? I mean, he damn near deserves it. But with that, we know how that war works, so yeah. Conference-wise, I actually don't know. You got Eagles plus 290, Lions plus 185, leaders there, Chiefs plus 195, Bills plus 250. That's going to be fun. And then I think that basically does it, because I don't think there's any. I guess they don't have any record breakers stuff up, so I was going to talk about that, see what those odds were as well. But yeah, that's probably going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for support. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, since I was at a Christmas party having some fun with family, I didn't get a full watch of the game, so I'm not just going to sit here and try to lie to you about the way I broke it down. So like I said, just gave you a few of my thoughts. We're kind of looking ahead. Tomorrow's going to be a big one, though. We got Pickem, which I think we might be out of the race, but we'll still have some fun with it. NFL bets for Week 17. All my college bowl game bets and college football playoff bets for the upcoming week. Ooh, actually, college football playoff might be able to hold off for next week. We'll see about that one. But we got a lot of bowl games to bet, so got a lot of stuff to give out there. So it should be a fun one tomorrow. Hope everyone has a good Christmas Eve, and I'll see everybody on this feed in Christmas. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for support, and hey, hope everyone has a good Christmas, man.